right. Hello, everybody. All right. So we have had a fun couple of weeks getting the new year started. My name is Lisa, and I am super excited to start my first time hosting this year, Wellness Wednesday. And so we are going to have a special guest. So I have known Tracy, because of Plexus and our groups and things like that. But I finally got to meet her in person this past weekend. So we all went to the Smoky Mountains. It was Super Saturday, and we had the best time I ever thought I could have with almost 70 women. I think it was 68 women together, like-minded women. And we were all just there having the best time, just having so much fun, crying, laughing, dancing, just sharing from our hearts and getting to know each other. And it was such a fun time. And it snowed, big snowflakes. So I'm from Montgomery, Alabama, and we just don't get those very much. So it was so fun to see that. Just a magical, fun weekend. And so I loved getting to talk to Tracy, and I was so excited to be able to have her on this Wednesday. So she's going to share a little bit about her journey. I'm just going to ask her some questions about her journey with Plexus and how she got to where she is. Now, if you want to know more about her health journey, her health testimony is posted in this thread that talks about this call. But if you can't find it, let me know, let Tracy know, and we will get your health testimony because it's pretty amazing as well. So we're going to say hi to Tracy. Welcome. And hey, okay, so we're just going to dive right in because Tracy is on fire. So whatever she has got going on, whatever systems are working for her, whatever she's got going on in her mindset and her activity, pay attention because she knows how to get the job done. So we're gonna pick her brain a little bit, take some good notes and figure out what she's doing so we can duplicate what she's doing. Okay, first of all, because we were talking about, what we both do outside of Plexus, and you are paralegal. So my first question is, did you see yourself where you are now 5 years ago? And, why or why not? But why are you still doing Plexus? Especially if you didn't envision yourself doing this 5 years ago, what makes you say?
The products work. They have changed my family's lives. They've changed my life. When your mom gets off blood pressure medicine, when your husband's labs are like a 16-year-old and he's almost 55 years old, and when you're free from the health struggles you've had your whole life, and everyone else needs these products, I just can't stop. I mean, I can't not share it with people.
I totally get that. And let me ask you something that's I'm going to throw in a little extra question here. As a paralegal, first of all, how long have you been a paralegal?
30 years.
Good grief. That is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I bet you got some stories. That's for another show. That's another call. But so in 30 years of being a paralegal, would it be fair to say that maybe you're a little skeptical by nature just because of the environment that you're in?
I work in product liability.
Oh, goodness. Yes.
So there's a lot of things I know that most people don't. That also keeps me pushing Plexus. So that's a big deal to me. But yeah, you're right. I am skeptical. I was skeptical from the beginning when Ashley presented Plexus to me because I had tried so many other things. And so, yeah, I was very skeptical because nothing worked for me.
I'll tell you, not to make it about me, but to throw it in as a nurse, I'm very skeptical as well about natural products. And because we just weren't taught about, getting to the root of anything. And so I came in very skeptical as well. So it's kind of interesting that you're just like, well, the products work, because it's like, you can't argue with that, right? No matter what your colleagues say, no matter what the doctors that I work for say, no matter what my patients say, I know that my testimony, my family's testimony is ironclad. So no matter how skeptical people are, I want to just shout it from the rooftops. I was the most skeptical too. I get it. But I think that the most skeptical, make for the best believers. And so I welcome skeptics and critics. If they just give it a chance, a lot of times that their skepticism will turn into huge belief, which is so exciting to see. Okay, so rejection. I don't know as a paralegal if you have thick skin or not, but how do you handle rejection doing this?
You have to have thick skin to be a part of my family. I mean, it's not just being a paralegal, but yes, you do have to have thick skin in what I do, but rejection's hard. And I don't always handle it well. The longer I do this, the better I get, because my mindset has shifted so much that I feel sorry for some of them. And so it makes me want to share even more so that they can, learn more. Maybe I hope that I can educate them a little bit. When people say no to me, I don't look at it as a hard no. I look at it as a not right now, because they're going to keep seeing what I post, and they're going to keep seeing testimonies. And one of them is going to one of them is going to hit them in a certain way that they're going to at least think about it. So rejection is not as hard for me now as it was in the beginning, probably.
And I think that probably comes with time, and just, exposure to other people's stories. That builds my belief after doing this for 7 years. I can listen to someone's story that I've already heard before, but maybe the way that they say it hits me in a different way, in a different season, because people's health stories are always changing. Their health needs are always changing. And so is their financial situation. Someone says, I don't need the business. I was telling, Lindsay, who shared with me, I was like, I needed the money, but I didn't want the business. You know what I mean? And then something happened and situation changed. And I had to just finally say, okay, I need to look into this because my situation changed. So that to me helps me handle rejection, because I know that eventually, just like you said, some people, they're going to come back around for the business, or for the products, or for both. Sometimes it's just a matter of time. So,
right.
Okay. So how do you overcome the inner mindset blocks from preventing some people from moving forward, or just doing it scared? How do you get to that place where doesn't matter, what I think or what I lack about my mindset about this, I'm just going to do it anyway? How do you get to that place?
I think with age, it comes with it. I was just had a conversation tonight at church with, we teach Awana, and we teach first grade, and a helper of mine is a young girl. My children are older than her, but anyway, we were talking about something, and she asked me a question, and I said, people make fun of me all the time. And I said, I'm used to it. I've been made fun of my whole life. Like I said, I've had to have thick skin in my family. And that's just joking around. Nothing crazy. But I told her, I said, and I gave her examples of how people make fun of me. And I said, you know yourself, the reason why you do something, or the reason why you are a certain way. And I just don't let it bother me. Have I always been that way? No. But the older I get, the more I don't care. That sounds terrible, because you really do care, but you don't let it affect you enough to where you don't, it's not going to halt me. I'm going to keep doing it. You can unfollow me. You can avoid me. I'm pretty sure a couple of people do avoid me. But that's okay. That's okay. You'll come back around. I just know it. So
it doesn't paralyze
I have
you.
to look at it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't.
And
not anymore.
Right. And I think that you're right with age. I think that that is definitely something that for me as well. I look back 20 years and my mindset's a lot different because, you know, our perspective has changed. And I think that that really helps how we view things as we get older, is when your perspective change. And also as your drive changes as far as why you do what you do. And a lot of it, especially as we get older, I am more sentimental about family and, you know, working hard for my family and making sure that, you know, they get what they need, health wise and other, you know, financial needs and things like that. But I also see that there's such a need for other people that I think that as usually, not always, but I hope that as we get older, that we are less inward focused. As when we're younger, we think about ourselves a lot. And I think that for a lot of people, not all people, a lot of people, that we are able to think about other people and how what we do can benefit them and how it can affect them. So
I love serving, and I feel like this is a service, and it was a disservice that I went almost 2 years without sharing it. So I wish I had started earlier, sooner, or maybe it's just my time when I started. But I felt like it would have been it. I would have continued to be a disservice to people if it wasn't. Then, like I said, my family wouldn't be where they are now as far as the products. So
I love the way that you say a disservice, because we do know that it's such a blessing to so many people that I felt guilty not sharing for, you know, just a little bit of time that I didn't. So, but you know what? We can't go back and change the past. All we can do is move forward and hopefully make a difference going forward. So, but I totally agree with what you're saying. I totally get that. Okay. So what tools did you use that helped you be disciplined on the days you didn't want to be?
Well, I try not to buffer, which when I buffer, I do what typical people do, binge Netflix or scroll TikTok or whatever. I just have to remind myself of what my goals are. And there are days I don't want to get up at 4:15 in the morning and go work out either. But I do it because I'll feel better when I get finished, and it's good for me. So this is good for me. I know that I'll feel better once I do my IPA or once I reach out to that person. I try not to take breaks except for Sundays. There's a goal that I have to meet. It's not in my time, it's in his time, but I will get there. So I just have to keep moving. My husband is like, I just have to keep pushing. Like if I stop, then where am I going? I'm not going anywhere. So I kind of look at him as, you know, my little my person that I kind of go, I need to be like you, because he gets stuff done and I need to get stuff done. So,
well, that's awesome. Y'all have a good return for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what you're saying is, and this is something that I say a good bit, feelings aren't facts, right?
Right.
Because we don't feel like doing something doesn't mean that we shouldn't. And you know, as a mom, usually we have to remind our kids about that. I don't feel like cleaning up my room. I don't feel like, and I say I don't feel like making dinner, but it has to get done, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so good. And what a great helper you have in your husband. So that's so great. That's so great. Okay, I think I know the answer to this, but what do you wish you had known before you started Plexus? What do you wish you knew then that you know now?
I wish that I had known about gut health, period. I could have been a better mom. I could have been more present.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? What do you mean by that?
So I was a single mom for 8 years with 2 children. And during that time, after my divorce, I was in a pity party for at least a year, like a major pity party. And this is personal, but take it like as however you want. But I just remember checking the mail one day and walking to my house, and I just threw the mail on the ground. I said, God, you got to take care of this. You have to take this. I will not take it back from you this time. You are taking it. And, you know, from that moment on, I'd always been determined. I think we talked about that a little bit about school and stuff, but I was determined from a toddler age. You know, stories my family would tell me about how determined I was, potty trained at 16 months old. And, you know, it was crazy. And so learning how to tie my shoe at 2, like my granddad would say, I would spend hours trying to do that. Just very determined. I think the 2 words I would say was I was determined and I had faith. My faith never wavered, but my determination went through seasons. And so, I found, you know, I was very determined during school. I worked hard to do whatever, be whatever I wanted. But then when I got divorced after about a year, I had to put that hat back on. And for 6 years, I saved $20,000 and built my kids a house. And that was determination. But that I was proud of, but I was sick and I was tired. And I laid on the couch all the time. I could not wait to get home, cook them dinner, but I couldn't eat it because my IBS-C, you know, all the things, I couldn't eat with them. I spent lots of weekends on the couch. I didn't realize that I wish I had known about gut health. I wish I had known where all this stemmed from and that I could have been a better mom. And that was hard for me. It's devastating. Although out on the outside, it looked like, you know, oh, look what you did for them. How wonderful. But on the inside, I was just miserable. And they saw it. I know they saw it. They had to. They never said anything, but, you know, that was hard for me. So I wish I had known about that then, and then I could have been a better me for them. That's the biggest thing.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I know that was
holding the tears.
That's okay. Look, I will cry at the drop of a hat. So you just bring on the tears. I'll just cry right along with you. I think you and I cried a little bit at the cabin, didn't we? When we were talking in the kitchen.
That was tough. Yeah, a little bit.
But you know what? And I don't know what you've been through, but I know that there are a lot of our friends, and maybe people that you haven't even met yet that are going through what you went through right now. And I can't relate to what you went through, but I know that there are seasons of my life that, you know, other people haven't gone through that were hard for me and my family or my husband or my kids or as a child, that you look back and you say, man, why did I have to go through that? That was no bueno. That was no fun. I don't want to repeat that. What was the point of that, Lord? And then, it's not something that you look forward to say, I'm so glad I get to go through this season, through this valley, so I can be an example or be a helper for someone else. However, you are. You are, and you will continue to be. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That being said, I'm so thankful that you're sharing your story, as hard as it is, because even though we don't want to be that example, you know, I know sometimes I've said, Lord, I don't want you to use me for that. I don't want to go through that so you can use me for someone else, because that's too hard, you know? And I don't know if that's how you feel, but I'm so thankful that you share that, because I know that there's a ton of people that could benefit from hearing your story, and how you have persevered, and the testimony that you have to share. So might just be what they need to get through another day of what they're going through. Okay. Didn't mean to make this a Dr. Phil or anything, but I appreciate you sharing that. Okay, let me ask you a couple more things. Okay, so your team's blowing up, you're blowing up, doing some great things as far as the business goes. So what are 3 non-negotiable things that you do every day that is helping to move the needle in your business?
Well, I always try to reach out to at least 3 people. So today I reached out to 5. One thing that I started doing a few months ago was on Facebook, I look at the birthdays that pop up, and I always personally message them and tell them happy birthday. And then at the same time, I'm adding them to my calendar for either the next month or the following month, especially if I've never reached out to them before. So I'll have them down as either a first reach out or a follow up. That's how I keep my calendar full most of the time. I also will follow up with one or two people that I have been talking to in the last couple of months. And I always check my back office. I'm always keeping up with my points, and I pray for my business. That's number 4. Sorry, that's 4 of them. But non-negotiables every single day. I take Sundays off. That's the only day pretty much I take off. But I still pray for my business on Sunday.
Absolutely. So. I love that you added that. And I'll tell you that for me, the more, and it's hard sometimes because I like to be in control of a lot of things, but for me, the more control that I'm able to, you know, like you said, you should throw that on the ground. You're like, I'm giving it to you, and I'm not going to take it back. That is a great reminder to do, because, you know, to me, if for me personally, if the Lord is not in this business, I don't want it. So, so I love that. Okay. Last question. Okay. So what are some events or calls, whether it's corporate or team, what are some events or calls that you recommend that we get on regularly to keep us in momentum, or to help encourage us? Not that that's going to keep us in momentum, but to encourage us to stay in momentum.
Well, I think it does help keep you in momentum. Your weekly team calls are real important. I feel like corporate calls, if you're able to get on them, are great. I know that I'm gonna start doing the book club soon. I just think staying engaged with your team, with your sideline sisters, with staying on top of what's going on, I think that's important. If you can get on the tables, weekly events that they have. What we did this past weekend, I think it's cool. I would not have imagined just exactly. I knew it was going to be impactful, but unless you're there, it's hard to explain it. But it is truly impactful. It is truly eye-opening. It kind of frees you a little bit, because you're not the only one who has these thoughts or these concerns or these fears. Almost everyone in there has some kind of fear. And just knowing that and being able to talk about it for days, it is just amazing. So I would highly recommend team outings, team retreats. I think they're amazing. I would say convention is big. I think everyone should go to convention. And I don't know, Julie, I don't think I'm going to be going to Gold School in February now, but I will go this year. I will be there this year. But I think all those things are so important if you're able to do it. But staying in contact with people who think like you and want the same things you want is very important, because outside of this, I don't have that. So this is very important for me personally. I think mindset is huge. And if I can, just for a second, what really started me was back in September. I had been coached for a few months, and then we got that first incentive in a while, which was the Apple Watch. I didn't need an Apple Watch, but I used that for me as a tool, as a goal of sorts, a visual, just to see how far I could go in September. I was like, I'm doing it. I can't explain how I did it. Or exactly what, but I think I had more enthusiasm when I was reaching out to these people. I was like super excited, and just, I think more, I don't even know, but I earned 2 watches that month. Like I got 12 people that month. And I was like, how did this even happen? And then all of a sudden I'm gold. And I'm like, wait, how did that happen? And then in October, the same thing. I was like, I've never customized Nikes before. That's going to be my visual. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to look through and I'll say, those are the kind I want. I got 2 pair of Nikes that month. The best thing that happened to me in October, though, was I was with my family in Universal Studios, and we were standing in line to get on the train to go the other side. And I just happened to look at my phone, and Julia had posted on my team page that I was like I was in the top 3 in the world of recruitments. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I didn't even know what that meant. And I showed it to my husband, and he was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. I mean, that just made my whole trip. Like, I was like floating. I didn't even know what I was floating for. I didn't even know what it meant, but I was like, that must be a big deal. So that also gave me momentum. It just made me want to work harder and just share more. I signed up 4 in November and 4 in December. I haven't signed anyone up yet this month, but I got people in my funnel. So hopefully we'll get there, and I'll get some cowboy boots, but we'll see. I really want to I have 1 silver on my team, and I really want to develop that. That's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on doing lives and showing my face a little bit more. Those are hard. That's the hardest thing for me. I don't know how y'all do it, but y'all need to give me pointers on that.
Well, listen, just like Roz said, I think it was Roz that mentioned that you're 52.
Yeah.
Okay. And y'all, for those of y'all who weren't there at the retreat, Roz I feel like it was like the first night or something. She was like, y'all, she's 52. She's a grandma, and she is so beautiful. Like, you just have such a youthfulness, and of course it's a great plug for Plexus and collagen and all the things, but you definitely should show your face more, be proud of it for sure. So you should be able to get on those lives more, girl, because it is working.
I'll try.
Do what?
I work from home now, so this makeup is for this. Yep. It's not a normal thing for me. So, but there are some filters, I think, out there.
No, you stop. You don't need any filters at all. Not at all.
But no, I'm gonna. That's the one thing I'm gonna work on, is talk more about the business with people. I've been doing that this week since I've been home, and I'm gonna get more comfortable with that and do some lives. And I know people want to see your face. So I'm those are the things I'm working on. And I would love some pointers, and I would love some encouragement, and just whatever, y'all have for me. I'm ready.
Well, when you do live, you let me know before you go on. I'll be sure to go on and support you for sure, because I know it'll be great. But thank you for sharing tonight.
Yes.
I know that a lot of people got a lot of great value out of what you shared. I'm so excited when you get those boots, because I know that you are. You have to keep earning the prizes. You've been doing it for all these months in a row. So you gotta and there's some cute ones that I saw with some little tassels that I have my eye on. So those would be cute. But thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And hopefully we will see you in person, I guess, in Nashville.
Yeah.
Next in person.
I will be there.
So well, that's awesome. I can't wait to see how many boots you got to wear there. It'll be a lot of fun. Do what? Yeah.
I said I'll share them.
Yes, do. At the Wild Horse Saloon, apparently that's where a big party's going.
I lived in Nashville. My daughter was born there, lived there a couple of years, and that is the most fun place. I mean, it's not like just a regular bar. It's a lot of fun. Everyone's going to enjoy it. You win that dinner, and you're going to have the best time there. So
it looks like fun. I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah.
Well, thank all of y'all for joining another Wednesday, and we will catch y'all again next week. Bye.
Bye.